when you got out, right? When you got out, when you finished that period, did you feel like it was harder for you to come back and like play and have all of that funk and shit that you were able to draw from to have your sound, to have that sound on the bass?
I don't think so. I think that once I put, like Denise calls it, my magic thing. You know, once I pick up that instrument, man, right. it's
Okay, this is going.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is the Shadow People. I'm your host, Nigel Hall.
I'm Derrick Freeman,
and we just having a good old time already. You know,
our esteemed guest,
Hall
of Famer,
Rock and Roll Hall of Famer, lifetime Grammy Award achievement recipient, the funkiest black man on the face of the earth. Motherfucking George Porter Jr. is in the studio with us today. We've been trying so hard.
We finally made it happen.
George in here, and because he's the busiest motherfucker in the world, soul brother number one. And we are so honored to have you here.
Man, it's a pleasure.
We love you so much.
It's a pleasure to be here, guys.
Thank you, George.
Thanks for the invite.
You've been a huge inspiration to us and a mentor to us. Coming up in this crazy ass shit. You've watched us grow. And it's truly an honor to have you in here today with us.
Yeah, right.
We were just like, I forget what we were just talking about. But
we
was
talking about being sober versus being on stage with people who aren't sober.
Yeah, because then the reason I asked you that is because when I got out of rehab, I think one of the things that I struggled with was trying to. There was something that I always had the power to tap into as a musician, and at the time I didn't know if it was because of drugs that I could get there.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Because I had only really done it when I was young and I started doing my first gigs ever. Like, I would have a drink to loosen up. And, I didn't get into the bad stuff until much later, until like my late 20s. I came to the party early, but I stayed late. And I was struggling with like, am I still going to be able to have the sauce that, I always drew from? So that was one of the reasons I asked you that, but obviously it ain't a problem because you still that motherfucker. So.
Well, I didn't have that. I had the thought, going in. This is the reason why I asked my counselors, can I go out and do this gig with Snooks? Because playing with Snooks is a situation where he don't do set lists.
He knows every song.
He just starts playing. He don't even tell you what key he in.
Right.
Yeah.
He just starts playing, and then you play catch up from that point on.
Yeah.
So it was like that was probably the most important thing for me is to find out whether or not I still had the ability to hear notes, hear intervals, knowing when he's on a 4 and when he's on a 5 or when he's playing a minor third or some other crazy notes, because those are things that you take disadvantage. What is the disadvantage of is that you don't pay attention to that. You just, because that's a mental thing that happens in your head. You just know, he's playing a B flat here, and we're playing in C, but why is he using a B flat instead of using the minor 6, or something like that? So that was the part of the things that I was worried about. So that gig with Snooks showed me one thing, that I had not lost that ability to know what things sounded like.
Right.
Because of the foundation you had, because you had the classical chop. See, because I played jazz gigs with you. See, I don't think people know. I mean, a lot of people know, but I'm just saying, you are the funk master. You're one of the groove masters of all time, right? So I think people maybe forget about your jazz chops, your classical chops. So talk about that, like your upbringing in New Orleans, like before you got with Allan and all that. Like, how did you get to that point?
Well, I
like,
believe,
who was your early teachers?
I believe in the early days, when I was 15 and 16 years old, getting out here and and sneaking in the nightclubs and stuff, musicians back then, the gigs started off swinging, playing bebop and and stuff. So the very first, and back then also it would be a 3-set night. He would play 3 1-hour sets with a half-hour break. But that first set was some serious straight ahead stuff, And in the second set, it would lighten up and get into things like the Bobby Blaines and then the Sam Cookes and those kind of things. And the third set would be New Orleans.
Yeah.
So now we in the Fast Diamond, and Huey Smith and and Ooh Poopy Doo,
Right.
That would be the way. That would be where you went home. But but you learn, how to play swing. You learn how to bebop before I knew how to bebop. Before I knew the names of the songs.
Right.
I didn't know a single name of any one of them tunes that I played.
You knew the changes, though.
But you knew that, motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly.
I knew the changes,
Right.
And I also knew that I also knew, I had already developed the concept of knowing what changes sounded like, what intervals sounded like. So I knew what that was about. But when you were playing straight ahead stuff, there weren't a bunch of songs that called for a bunch of changes.
Right.
So I'll tell you a great story, man. As a kid, I was 16 years old. I first chance I actually got in the Dewdrop. I had taken a couple of shots, but Frank Panier would see me coming. Don't even think about it.
Right.
So
that's wild.
But this third time I tried, the doorman was he was a drummer. I can't remember his name. But he was a jazz drummer, killer.
That's why he was working the door.
He was also the daytime chef. He was the guy who made those famous red beans in the Dewdrop. It was his red beans that is his recipe. He was at the door. He always played with the girls, So I kind of just acted like I was supposed to be there. He didn't say nothing, and I got in.
Right.
So I'm listening to the bands, I'm listening here, and they playing straight ahead stuff, they before they bring the show on.
Yeah.
So I think it was probably the 4th or 5th time that I got in. I knew what days ago when he was going to be on the door, so I can go through.
Right.
I had the keyboard player name was Ching Ching. Now I don't know what his real name was, but that was his nickname. That was his stage name, Ching Ching.
Hey yo.
Killer keyboard player. And he was playing, he played to use his feet and his left hand, and they'd be playing things way up there like that,
Yeah.
So I knew I can do that. I can swing.
Yeah.
So, I had, and 90% of the songs they were playing were blues changes,
Right.
Yeah.
Every now and then there might have been a 16-bar blues, but most of them were 12-bar blueses, So I knew this. I got this,
Right.
So I go up and ask him, because he had a bass, a Fender Precision, leaning up against the wall. So I say, hey man, can I play a song on a P? He said, you sure? I said, yeah, sure. He said, come on, bro, come on up here. And he had that look on his face. I should have known I was just getting ready to get screwed.
Right. What the hell this kid about to do?
Lord,
so I go up on the stage. Yeah, Roger Lewis was in the band.
Oh,
He
wow.
played Barry.
Oh wow.
We gotta get him on. See, now we gotta get him on the
now we gotta get him on. Confirm or disconfirm.
So, man, I get up on the stage, and Ching Ching turn around to the band, and he calls a song called Tune Up. Tune Up is not a 12-bar blues. Tune Up is every bar is a different note. And the tempo is like, you know, like ding, 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 you know? And they started the song, you know, and I'm trying to, you know, I'm walking, but I'm hearing shit going down. I say, wait a minute, this is not a blues. And Ching Ching kind of looks over at me and says, come on, catch up, son. Catch up, you know. Man, I can't catch up. I don't have a clue what's going on here. So he gets up from behind the beat, but he takes the bass from it and he plays this thing. Do 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 do, and it's moving, man. You know, and I said, wow, man. I kind of walked out of the thing with my tail stuck so far up. It was like, oh wow. But the song was in my head. I went home that night. I dreamt it. You know, I slept on it. I dreamt it and for days. You know, so I went back maybe a month later. Got in again, you know, and went up on stage. You know, went up to him. He said, "Oh, you back, youngster?
You want some more?" Huh?
You know, I say, I'm ready this time. You know, he said, "Hey, come on!" He got up on the stage. You know, and you know, he turned around and he said, "Okay, we're gonna play." And I'm thinking they're gonna play, you know, tune up again. He played straight ahead, you know, and they were playing 12-bar blues, and I'm ready to move these movements. I said, "What the hell, man?"
I'm shedding all this shit. You go back to that?
It's like I wanted to play tune up.
Right.
I was ready.
He said, "Come on," he turned around and said, "Come on, youngster, catch up."
He said it again.
Yeah, you know. Well, at this point, now I realize now it's a 12-bar blues. Yeah. So now I'm able to, you know. So I had to restructure my brain to play this 12-bar blues. So I swung with him, you know. Yeah. But it was like, you know, when the song was over with, he looked at me and just grinned, you know, and said, "Come back again."
Well, at least he invited you back this time. It was
I never went back.
He ain't take the bass from you this time.
I never went back. You know, I never ever walked on a Dewdrop stage again from that after that.
Have you been to the Dewdrop since it reopened?
I've been over there. They invited me over. I got invited when they was like doing walkthroughs. So I did a walkthrough. And then I think we saw Erica Falls performance there.
Did it kind of look like it did when
no.
Nothing was different.
Nothing like the original place. I mean, it's laid out really nice now. I mean, the old club, man, was a juke joint. Yeah. You know, it really was. It was what a juke joint was.
Supposed to be,
you know.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, with the restaurant on the front now and everything. No, it's. I like the layout. The layout now, you know, the hotel section upstairs. In fact, Denise and I was making the plans to go stay there one night.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's all right.
I heard the hotel was nice.
Spend the weekend over there, you know.
The hotel's nice. I wanted to talk. You mentioned the P bass there. And I wanted to mention, because, you know, we always talk about this every time I see you, but I would like you to tell the story about the P bass that you have that does not leave the house anymore. Because I remember one time we were at Tipitina's. Actually, I'm going to tell you a story real quick, because this is the first time I met you. It was the first time I had come to New Orleans, and I was playing with Eric Krasno and all of those guys in Soul Live. And I think I might have just started playing with Lettuce at that time. I was singing with them. And we were at Tipitina.
Sam was with you, huh?
And Sam, Sam was with us. Uh-huh. And there had been some kind of like conglomerate jam between, like, you know, it was like a late night thing at Tips. And I remember us hanging out when I first met you, and you were just so kind to me, and I really appreciate that. And we were talking, and you had that P bass. And I remember being a kid because my dad is a guitar player, and he used to get Guitar Player magazine, and there was an article in Guitar Player magazine of you and the meters, and that was, I think I might have been 12 or 13 years old, and that's when I really started listening to the meters, because I saw this picture of you. It might have been at Jazz Fest, but you were so cool with this bass, and I was like, oh, like you could tell the bass had been through some shit, right? And then I remember that night at Tips, I saw you and I saw that bass, and I picked it up and I played it, and I remember that the action was so high on it that I was like, oh my God, this dude has been playing this bass all of this time. Yeah. And then there and upstairs was, I don't know if you still do this, but it was a lot of Popeyes up there.
Well, he was the one responsible for that.
Yeah. It was a lot of Popeyes up there, and you were on stage playing, and I ate your chicken.
Everybody ate the chicken. That's why it was there, man.
I ate your chicken. And you came upstairs and you was like, "Who ate my chicken?"
Oh yes.
And then
you ate all the chicken.
I ate the chicken. Oh wow. I ate it all.
Wow.
And you were mad as shit.
Yeah.
And Kraz was looking at me like, "Yo, you better go." And like, I don't know if y'all seen that. I don't know if y'all seen that image of Homer Simpson backing up into the bushes. But that was me. Boy, I ran out of tips so fast that night, because I was like, and I never told, and I always wanted to tell you that it was me, and that was 20-something years ago.
Damn.
And I'm sorry. I know the statute of limitations is over with that, but I just want to let you know that I'm sorry for eating your chicken. Anyway,
definitely
tell us. I should be ashamed. You know what? You know what I'm gonna do? When I get back, I gotta go on the road for like a week, but when I get back, if you got time, I'd love to hang out with you and take you to Popeyes. And let me just buy you whatever the fuck you want. You just go in there and you just But my question was, tell us a story about that bass, because I know there was some interesting things that happened, and it's a reason why you don't bring it out of the house anymore.
Well, I put it
first of all, what year is it? What year is that bass?
The bass, the body of the bass, when I originally got it, was Tony Hall kind of pulled my coat that he thought that bass came into my life as 71. I thought it was 70, but it could have been my birthday area of 70. And his first sighting of it would have been 71. It was a fretless bass. It was originally a 1970 fretless bass. Fender Precision,
like Jaco Pastorius, right?
I know Jaco's bass wasn't a Precision.
It was Jaco had a jazz bass.
Right? Jazz bass, yeah.
So a fretless precision bass.
But he had his bass was a fretted bass that he had the frets removed.
He pulled the frets out.
He had the frets removed. So mine was fretless, and I took that thing on the road with the meters. I didn't take my telly or nothing else out at the time, and just had that fretless bass. I was determined to learn it and play it. And I actually thought it was was going to be a piece of cake, and I was up and sliding, slipping and sliding up and down that. And both RT and Zig, said Leo was kind of having fun with it, but RT and Zig said, "Bro, RT said, bro, I'm gonna break that fucker."
Did you have any upright? Did you play upright bass at all?
I had played on upright several times. Chuck Beatty,
Chuck.
I went
number 9.
I went to the I remember going to Mason Americana, and Chuck and Jermaine, and then was playing Red Tyler.
The main killer bass player too.
And one time I kind of asked Chuck, can I do it? I wanted to try it out, And he said, "Yeah, come on." And then I went there, and I was a young pretty boy, man. I was, I had my James Brown hairdo, but
he had the Malcolm.
It was obvious that I was a youngster, because they all called me youngster.
Right.
Come on, youngster, And I jumped up on that thing and I played it, and I played it, I can just go one song because my wrist would start hurting so bad.
Mm-hmm.
So, so that's I don't really, the Sweet Lilies, I played on her bass a couple of times. But no, not for the most part. I didn't have no upright training or nothing like that. That's I learned how to play bass guitar wrong because I was playing it too high, so my wrist was bent.
Oh, okay.
So I damaged, those tendons in my. Now I don't have tendonitis or anything, but I just. They're weaker because I had them bent so long.
Because you was like this.
Because I was playing like that.
Yeah. So Zig and Art was like, nah, bro, you can't do that.
That's gotta go. That's gotta go.
So they made you change the neck.
So I got home after that little tour. We was out for about maybe 20 days or something like that, and came home. And went to it was a guitar store, music store back in town called Rock and Roll Music. John Otan had this keyboard player.
He's still around, huh?
He's still around.
Yeah.
He plays those. He does those piano gigs where just him at he don't use bands anymore.
Right.
He's just solo piano player.
He got like a label now or something actually, but don't matter.
And I went in his store. And I saw this neck. It was in the store. They had it had a cut in it. The cut was like a part of the body was cut off. And I think I paid $50 for it, $45, $50, something like that for the neck, and had the neck put on that P bass. So my fretless bass became a fretted P bass.
Fretted P bass. With a maple neck.
The neck was from a 63. It was a 63-year-old P neck.
Yeah, okay, all right.
So it was, and that's what I was told. So I don't know the truth how old that neck really was, but that's what I was told. It was a 63 neck because the guy who owned the neck girlfriend retired. We told him she was going to retire him or the bass, and he chose the bass.
He chose the bass. There's a way to look at it. Like if you take, you probably ain't gonna do this, but if you take the neck off, on the bottom of the neck is usually a serial number, where the last two numbers will tell you the year. The year of the, because all of the Fender products did that. On a Rhodes, if you take the top off, it's got the serial number on the top that tells you the week and the year that it came out. So it's a lot of times when you take the neck off. This is some nerd shit for all y'all. This is full nerd gear shit right here. But you can take it off and see. But did you tell me one time that bass was stolen?
No, it wasn't stolen. It was left. It was left. It was left behind. I was on a tour with John Schofield. We were in Spain, and we flew home from Spain. And the bass, when I got home, the bass didn't get home with me, and it was the bass got home about 6 days later. But it had been out on a tour mat. And I can't.
On the tarmac?
I'm kind of thinking of the name of the city we was flying out of.
You said you was in Spain. You was in Barcelona?
No, it wasn't Barcelona. What is other?
It don't matter. That's too far. That's too far away for the bass to be. I'm not. But, if it ain't where I'm at.
And the bass at that point. I had already knew that, people had already offered me long money for that instrument. Every time I went to Japan, man, guys would come up with me with cash in hand, but it was like I had to say that bass had to go on with their Corday or something like that.
Yeah.
When you go into the country because, some of certain Fender instruments.
It's like an heirloom.
Yeah.
So
the country, the
plus
country
it's
don't
your
want you.
base.
They don't want you coming in with that shit and selling it over there.
Right, exactly.
And taking money out of the country.
Yeah, I can see that.
So So I always have to do that paperwork and sign that bass in, and show it when I come out, and I better have that bass with me. So I knew that I can get a nice piece of money for that bass, and at that point,
it should be in the Hall of Fame, I guess.
It should be in a museum.
That's what I'm saying.
I thought that bass should not leave the house ever again.
Yeah.
And
now let me ask you a quick question. Was that because I mean Scott Jackson telling me a story about when he was teching for you, he cleaned one of your basses, and you ain't like that at all.
Say it again?
Scott Jackson told me he was teching for you one time, and he
Oh,
cleaned one of your basses, and now you was real pissed about that. Yeah. I can't wait to see his face.
I hope we can get a close-up on his face when we air this motherfucker. Cause y'all
Scott
seen
this your ass over there.
Scott, man.
Why you
Watch
did it?
yourself, bro.
Scott had the P, and
Lord.
Now Scott builds guitars.
Yeah.
He's a craftsman. Let's put that out there.
Scott is killing.
He wasn't just some random dude.
We're not here to disparage Scott or
Yeah.
anything.
Right.
Scott is our homie.
The neck on that bass had all of the scugs and the grug,
The phone.
The phone.
It was at that point in time. It was like 30 some odd years, Scott in his sweaty hands. He figured I can pick the bass up. He picked it up with his two fingers, the neck by the headstock, and when he turned it loose, his thumbprint was in the.
Shit.
He was trying to cover up. See, the cover up is always worse than the crime.
Yeah, exactly.
He totally freaked out, and when he called me up, scared to living death, and told me what had happened. And I couldn't visualize it until I actually saw the spot, and when I saw the spot, I just laughed. But he stayed around for maybe another month, and then he quit just because he thought that I was very disappointed in him and stuff, But that his thumbprint is still on that bass.
Oh,
that's crazy.
Well, there it is.
Well, Scott, there you go. You're a part of history.
Let's take a quick pause. We're
gonna take a short pause.
Help Drew out with the editing.
Hey, I'm Nigel Hall.
I'm Derrick Freeman.
And this is George Porter Jr., the great George Porter Jr. And we'll be right back after these messages. Don't you go nowhere.
Yes, y'all, we're back here on episode 33 of The Shadow People. I'm Derrick Freeman.
I'm Nigel Hall.
Our esteemed guest, Mr. George Porter. George Porter Jr.
Junior, get it right.
Get it right. I want to send a shout out to our sponsor, Lunasyn, for this episode.
Lunasyn,
thank you. And make sure you like and subscribe.
Yeah, like and subscribe. Shadow People Podcast at gmail.com for all your questions and concerns. Be respectful. Don't come with no bullshit. We got Danny here,
hiding in the back corner, in the dark corner.
Yeah.
Speaking of disrespectful.
Speaking of disrespectful, fucking Danny's here. Yeah,
I'm here in body at least,
Yeah, yeah. We gonna see about the mind here in a second.
Okay, we're back. We're back with Mr. George Porter Jr.
Yep.
Forgive me, sir. So yeah, we're talking about that P bass. That's
talking about that P bass. But I wanted to ask you, because we were talking earlier before we got started, and you were saying that this particular Jazz Fest, for all of y'all that don't know, I don't know what today is. What's today?
The 8th.
It's the 8th, the 8th of May. Jazz Fest ended, I think, on the 3rd, and all of us have been very, very busy in town during Jazz Fest and stuff, and It's a very special kind of year. And for me in particular, it's taken me a while to really get back into the swing of things. But I had a great Jazz Fest.
You was in the streets.
I was outside. I can't even believe it. My wife was even like, yo, it's 4 a.m. We still out? You having a good time and you sober? I'm like, yeah, let's hang out. And she's like, nah, it's time to go home now. And I was like, yes, perfect. Because I went to bed last night at 6 o'clock. But anyway, she was like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm going to bed.
Sleep.
Night.
Right.
But we were talking earlier, and you were saying that this was probably of all the jazz, because you are the king of fucking Jazz Fest. You are.
I saw you bring the grandkids out. I was sitting backstage on the Gentilly.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like that was
cute.
That's some
cute
dope
moment.
Shit. Like I got my
great grandkids.
And you know what that is?
Huh, George? That's great grandchildren, right?
That's great grandchildren.
That's great grandbabies.
That is legacy, bro. Like think about that. But you said that this was your favorite. This was the best Jazz Fest that you've ever had. And talk to us about that. Let us know.
Well, I think that it was just too. I think there's probably a multiple reasons of why I walked away from this one happier than I've ever been, and mostly because I think it had a lot to do with what I didn't do. Mm-hmm. And what I didn't do was, play 23, 25 gigs. Mm-hmm. I did 13. And I said I had 2 nights off, but it really was one night. Mm-hmm. The second night was just like a 30-minute set-in, mm-hmm. And I was back in the house by 10:30, mm-hmm. something like that. Yeah. And in general, previous years, man, I would be starting a gig at 2 a.m. in the morning. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I got home at 2:05 one night and 2:07 another night. And it was only because...
He got down to the minute, too.
It's only because I sat in the driveway.
Right. To decompress for a minute.
I was home,
right.
Just wasn't sitting on the side of the bed. Like, the plan was I needed to be in my bed by 2 a.m.
You almost made it.
That was the deal.
Yeah.
That was so... Yeah, I done both of those sides. But then, I played less. Mm-hmm. Our income earned more. Mm-hmm. So that's a good thing.
Can't beat that.
But then,
I like that.
That's ideal right there.
I like that.
I mean, the two. If I didn't play those 2 meter gigs, mm-hmm. I would not have earned. My income would have been probably about what it was last year, playing 27, 25 gigs. Right. Mm-hmm. But because of even the smaller gigs that I played, I actually, raised the income up a little bit, mm-hmm. and so I would have probably broke even like last year without those 2 meter gigs. With mm-hmm. those 2 meter gigs, they put me way over the top, Mm-hmm. So, but then, getting to play with Zig and Leo again was and Ivan sitting in on keyboards, mm-hmm. and Cyril, it was a. Yeah, it kind of brought back, man. A couple of times I was kind of saying, damn, I sure miss RT,
Yeah.
Because everything was a little too cohesive.
Yeah.
RT would have been throwing some shit in the game.
Yeah.
Which is what we look forward to,
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Because, out of a clear blue sky, he'd just start playing some doo-wop song, mm-hmm. in the middle of a funk gig, and he'd play some doo-wop song, doop-doo-doo-doop.
Yeah.
So I kind of missed that, but no, I think in all, musically, I thought I had always put the set in with Stevie Wonder as my #1 Jazz Fest date, and that was 55 years ago.
#1 photograph.
That was the first fairgrounds performance.
What year was that? That had to have been like what, 73?
I don't know, 55 years. and how I got that number, because Quint came out on stage.
71.
He was on the side of the stage when Running Partners played
Mm-hmm.
Sunday, mm-hmm. and I kind of introduced him to everybody, mm-hmm. And then I told him, I said, I've been here since the first,
Yeah.
Because, the very, very first Jazz Fest, but it wasn't called Jazz and Heritage Fest, but the very first Jazz Fest was in front of the Mahalia Jackson.
It was actually
in front of the Municipal Auditorium on the side of the
It was actually 57 years because it's the 50. See, that's because on the radio we have to spin it because of 2 years of the COVID.
Oh,
so
Technically, that's right.
It's the 57th annual, but the 55th edition.
Yeah.
So it's it's actually 57
that's
years.
Weird.
Right.
From the first one, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. Right, because we had 2 years of COVID, yeah. And I've done I missed only one. Well, it was 2 because remember one got we got a hurricane. I mean, we got the tornado came through and wiped out everything.
Yeah.
So we stopped that one that mess, and then I was on tour with Jimmy Buffett. I think for one that I didn't do. So I've only missed 2, and the 2 with the COVID thing.
That's crazy.
Another quick question. Just so, because we've been talking about clubs, we talk about Muddy Waters, and we talking about Benny's outside. Where did y'all come up at, the Meters? I mean, I know it was like a studio thing, but where was the club where y'all used to play at back in the day? And was everything uptown? Did you ever play downtown?
Everything was uptown until we moved to Bourbon Street.
Okay.
We were at a club called the Nightcap on Louisiana. Louisiana and Carondelet.
Right.
The Alfred Ducep's brothers, Roland and the older brother, I never remember his name, but Alfred was kind of like the hand. He was like the hands-on. He was in the club on every night. He was like the hands-on at the club. We played the Nightcap for a couple of years, and it had to be. Because I was doing this thing because we're doing research on. I'm writing a book.
Yeah.
And so my co-writer is fact checking shit that I say, which is cool because because I tell you the truth, but I forget what sock on what foot.
Right.
Not that it matters because they both work.
But I know what you mean. Yeah.
Right.
But the dean is fact checking, and he goes back and finds find real dates and when it was being promoted. So, but we left the Nightcap. We were off about a month and a half. So, and then Art called back and said, "Hey, we going on Bourbon Street," and we went to the Ivanhoe. And we played the Ivanhoe. I remember being at the Ivanhoe and seeing 2 Christmases at the Ivanhoe. We were on Bourbon Street the day that Martin Luther King was
early
killed.
60s?
Oh, wow.
What years we talking about?
What year was Martin Luther King killed?
68.
68. Yeah. We were on Bourbon Street that day.
Okay.
So that would have been into our second year on Bourbon Street.
So y'all had already been doing stuff with Allan at that point?
We started recording with Allan in 67.
Right.
And that
67.
was at C-Saint, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Gentilly.
Well, no.
No?
That was at Cosmo Matassa Studio. The first on Camp Street. Upstairs.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I know exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I got you.
Cleary told me about that.
The first Lee Dorsey project we did.
Well, Torque had it for a while too, like later.
On Camp Street.
Yeah.
And the first meter tracks, those first full tracks was recorded up on Camp Street.
Okay.
And when that elevator that you had to pull a rope to go up. Mm-hmm. You had to pull a rope and then it starts and then it'll start up and then it'll go up.
Right. That's crazy. Let me
So
ask.
Nighthawk, then
That was 67,
Bourbon Street.
yeah.
Right. Okay. I'm just.
How did this even start for you, George? Like, how did you get into the Meters? Like, was it
into the Meters?
into the
The
like,
music.
I understand that, but I'm just saying, like,
When did y'all become the Meters?
When did y'all become the Meters?
Yeah,
basically, is what I'm saying.
Basically, after we recorded those 4 songs, it was after a Lee Dorsey session.
He said the music.
Marshall came into the control room. Allan had whatever he wanted to do
Marshall
that day. He
Sehorn.
had done it, and I guess they had blocked out a certain amount of hours in the studio, and they still had a few hours left. And so Marshall came in and said, "Why don't y'all just lay down something, play something, And there was a groove, the sophisticated sissy groove. Mm-hmm. We were playing that groove at the Ivanhoe on when we go on our breaks. So we had that in mind. Mm-hmm. And then Leo came up with the Cordova lick. The song that became Sehorn's Farm, which was Turkey in the Straw, RT came up with. And Here Come the Meter Man was kind of Zig's idea when Leo came up with the 2 parts. Mm-hmm. We cut those 4 tracks, and we went back to Bourbon Street. Mm. And probably 6-8 weeks later, Marshall Sehorn called us down to the studio and had a contract and a check, and saying, "What's this about?" And he said, "Well, we need get you to sign on this dotted line, and I'll give you this check for $20,000. Each one of us could. I ain't never seen $20,000 before,
especially back then. Shit,
Shit.
So it's 200 G's.
I didn't even read the paper.
Right.
Oh, okay. Right. Word.
Where the line at? I just signed on the line, took a check, and put my name on the paper. But and then he came up with the idea of us writing down names on a piece of paper and sticking it in a hat, and we was gonna pick a name for the band. He said, "Y'all need a band." Well, Art put in Art Neville and the Neville Sound Band. I put in. I had the name that I used was the Metrics. And I don't remember what Zeg or Leo names were, but Allan Toussaint supposedly had put in the name the Meters. Well, we never saw the
draw.
The draw.
Yeah. Until it came out, you saw it, right?
He pulled out the thing and said, it's the Meters."
That's crazy.
That was it.
And that was it.
Wow. We were the Meters,
Wow, that's
and then maybe a week later, bro, we get WBOK and WYLD. This is, I don't know, was there OZ then? I don't think so.
No, OZ came in I think in the 80s.
In the 80s, yeah. It wasn't OZ yet. But WBOK and WYLD was playing Sophisticated Sissy, and it started climbing the national charts and the R&B charts and stuff, and that was it. It was, from that point on, all hell broke loose, and we became a touring band, which didn't work as well for Allan. But they would always pull us off the road when Allan needed to go.
Because he wanted y'all for sessions.
Yeah,
when he was ready to go in the studio, we would get a call. Other than that, Marshall kept us out there on the Chitlin Circus. We were playing everywhere,
Yeah.
That and I'm glad you mentioned the session shit, because I wanted to ask you, like, what are like some of your favorite records that you were on, like that you remember you were on. True. Because I tell you, obviously we know each other. We all know each other. We've all played together before, and we all homies at this point. But we still know who you are, and we still have a tremendous respect for you and your catalog and what you have done for the culture and for us as musicians. Like, it is so fucking crazy to be sitting here next to you anytime I see you. Like, I see you all the time. But anytime I see, so now we got you cornered. So we're gonna ask you questions and nerd the fuck out. Because
I take the fifth.
Well, look, those questions I ask you when we're not filming.
Off-camera questions.
We'll ask those. There's an on-camera section and an off-camera section.
Always.
And that's for the Patreon that we about to start. Y'all see, y'all get that money ready. But my favorite record that you guys, and I think all of y'all were on it, was Destitutively Bonnaroo. Like, that album is just the funkiest shit.
I think that was my most favorite record recording, and it didn't get to see the light of day where it was because Mac was not happy with the what I'm an Erdogan wanted to do with the record. And it was I don't know I don't know all the insides to that, but I remember Mac. He hated the record.
He didn't like that record.
He never.
My God!
It wasn't until we did that performance at the Bonnaroo Music Festival. Mm-hmm. That they paid him ungodly money to play that music. We basically put the whole band together. Mm-hmm. Brought in the horn section. Brought in the girls, Jesse and Robbie. Mm-hmm.
So that was all the original band.
Pretty much, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty much.
And when was that? That had to have been.
That was that 25th anniversary or something like that, or 20th anniversary of Bonnaroo Festival. Yeah.
Damn. That's insane.
But Mac had never played any of that music. Never. None of that.
So
that
after
record,
he put the record out, he never
performed any of it on it.
Man, that's wild.
Never performed.
That's crazy. Because I don't know if you remember this, but we played that Soul Live was doing a Bowl Live series, and Dr. John came and played, and it's cool because he actually played my Rhodes that's in my living room.
I got a tape of it somewhere.
You were on the gig. Me and Alicia were singing. Me and Alicia Shakur.
Wasn't it Lettuce? Was it just Soul Live?
It might have been Lettuce.
Is that the same one you were singing the Curtis Mayfield on? Is it? Is that a different one?
Yeah, that might be a different one, because I think
because George is on that one too, though.
Yeah, I did a bunch of those Soul Live, Whole Live things.
Yeah. But I remember Dr. John doing that, and we were doing Stealing. And what's that? That's my favorite. Oh, that shit is so killer. You were playing that P bass on that too, right? Yeah. See, I told you. I'm geeking out right now. I'm sorry. This is rare. I'm so happy.
I did some work with.
I'm so happy.
I did some work with Miss Betty Harris like 10 years ago, maybe 10, 12 years ago, and she told me some stories about the meters.
Yeah, we did her record too.
Yeah,
we did. It was just like, I think with her, we just did full songs. And
Breaking the Road is like her biggest hit.
Breaking the whole record, yeah. We did 4 tracks with her, and then there was another guy named Jimmy Ellis, I believe, from Texas. That they kind of put her record on, put 2 tracks. It was like a 45 that had 4 songs on it.
A compilation or something. Yeah.
And one side was Betty, and the other side was just guy Jimmy. I don't think his last name was Ellis. I can't remember. But that was, I think the Dr. John, the Desert Tilly Bonnaroo is high up in the ranking.
Yeah.
Some of those meter records. There's individual tracks in some of those meter records that I just thought was so good that the band never played. Yeah. I did a record called, I think it's called "Can't Beat the Funk" with Running Partners. That
great record, by the way.
That I did 16 original meter songs that they never performed live.
Oh, okay.
Which words was that? Stoltz and.
No, that was Brent Anderson. Brent Anderson.
Oh, Brent, yeah, I love Brent.
Anderson on guitar.
I played a bunch of guitars.
Mike Limler.
And Russell.
No, that might have been Terrence.
Oh, was it that late?
No. You're right. I think it is Russell.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It is Russell.
Yeah.
No, it was Terrence because Chris Royal is on that record.
So that's early, like Terrence. That's probably his first record with you then.
That was Terrence's first record with me, yeah.
But Terrence is. I keep forgetting. I keep thinking Terrence is like 19 years old.
Yeah, I know.
He's 40 years old now. I know. You know what I mean? Just like
he just
crazy.
had a birthday.
Yeah. I know.
How old is he now? 34?
No,
he's 35, I think.
34, whatever.
35,
just
yeah.
You know how it is.
I
still see him as like my little brother.
I always thought he was the youngest, but Chris was younger than him.
Yeah. But I'd still see them as teenagers sometimes.
We all got gray hair now, bro.
Shit. Right.
We all got gray hair.
But there was record.
Danny
we
too.
did
I still think Danny 20 years old.
And it was brought to my attention. I went and sat in with Government Mule up in upstate New York. We were Denise and I was on like our little vacation time, and she was looking in the thing, and Government Mule was at the cap, and she said, "Oh." Because we were supposed to go home that day. And she called up. She didn't even tell me. She just called the airport and changed our flights.
Yeah, she's like, we staying.
Right. I said, I'm ready to pack to go home. She said, oh, we're not going home until the day after tomorrow. I said, why? She said, we're going to see.
He said, why?
We're going to see Warren and them at the Cap. So when we got to the Cap, it was a guy, a British guy, in a dressing room that goes back with Warren for years. And he got all geeked when he saw it. He said, oh, and I'm saying, what the hell is this? I'm going to Warren, and his favorite record of all time is a recording that this kid named Jesse Roden done with Allan, and that the Meters recorded those tracks with him, and he said, I can't believe it's you, it's really you, you know.
Yeah. So you think the Meters will make another record?
The Meters, well, we weren't named on the record.
I mean, I'm talking about in the future, like now, real time. Do you think y'all will make another record?
Oh, will we?
Yeah.
Man, I don't even know if we'll talk to each other tomorrow.
Okay, cool. Just checking.
I mean, you never know with these guys, man.
Right.
You never know. Go ahead. No, I never say never.
Right.
I never ever say never. That, you know.
And do you have a favorite? I know you have favorite tunes, but do you have a favorite, like, overall just record? What would you say the quintessential Meters? If somebody wants to learn who the Meters are, which record you think they should buy?
Well, I would think that the Look of Popeye record has more of the. I think we kind of had started formulating a better pocket with this Look of Popeye record. Rejuvenation record is absolutely the songwriter's delight.
Yeah.
You know,
I think that's our favorite. I'm sure. That's my favorite.
The Fire on the Bar and the Trick Bag records, or the Trick Bag record. I think we did more cover songs on that one than we did half covers. You know, and we showed our creative what you call it. The way we interpret other music. But, because originally, man, when we were on Bourbon Street, we were a cover band.
Right.
And we were playing everything from the Fifth Dimensions to, to Neil Young, Curtis Mayfield, the Impressions. We were doing, but we would, and I think what Allan liked about what we were doing is our interpretation of those songs, and the pocket that Zig and I had, it was just thing. And working with Allan, I got to learn more about what not to play rather than what to play.
Right.
I learned more about space. I learned more about leaving those holes, because his word was he always would tell me that I have the whole arrangement in my head. You don't know that. You don't hear. You don't hear everything. So if you play something more than what I gave you,
see, this is why I think Allan would have been a great hip hop producer.
You're stepping on somebody else's stuff.
A killer hip hop producer for this very reason you're talking about, because that's all it is parts. Drew actually is an expert in that, but putting like the right parts in the right spaces and repeating those parts.
Right.
And I think it's something that you do that like a lot of bass players nowadays don't do. It's just like, can you play this for 7 minutes? Like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's what it is.
That's the thing. You know what I mean?
When you think about James Brown,
right?
And just for example, like Lick and Stick, if you listen to that song, the guitar part and the bass part don't change at all. It's and
it's not looped.
And
that's just them playing that. Right.
They are playing that for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a 30-minute thing, and you have that ability to lock in and mesmerize people with that, because people are coming to groove with that. Like the you just mentioned, like the pocket, the magic, right.
We feel it too.
We feel it too. Like you just mentioned, like the pocket that you and Zig had. It's undeniable. It's like when you hear Bernard Purdy and Chuck Rainey play. It's undeniable. You know what it is. And it is a part of music. It's a part of Black history. It's a part of musical history. It is like really strong, and I'm kind of fanning out right now because I usually don't do this, but like he's laughing at me too. He's like, but that was also my other question that I was gonna ask you is, again, like I said, we know each other, but we also know who you are, and we have a tremendous respect for you. But when you meet people who know who you are and know what you have done, and they just go absolutely bonkers that they're in your presence, like, how does that make you feel? Like, and not just how does it make you feel, but how do you deal with that? Like, how do you deal with the fact that that, and you're constantly being reminded by people that you are Black history? You know what I mean?
Very carefully. I kind of, man, I'm humbled absolutely by the fact that what I've done for the last 60 plus years, is still coming back, and in some cases haunting. Because some of that shit she would like to leave back there. No, I just think that, and I guess most recently, I met a guy on out front of Maple Leaf. Come to find out, brother, the guy is a pedophile or he beats up on gay men or some shit.
Oh my God!
And I didn't know who he was.
Right.
I don't. When people want to say hello or take a picture with me, I don't ask for their credentials.
That just went really left. I just went so left.
I just.
Fuck.
In front of Maple,
in front of Maple Leaf, but that's what I'm saying. In front of Maple Leaf, you can meet any fucking body. You know what I mean? But that's crazy.
And it was, but I got so much shit the next day, on Facebook because of this. He posted.
He took a picture with you.
He posted a photograph of me, and people telling me, say, "Do you know who that is?" Or you
clearly
should be more careful about who you take pictures
with. I don't know who
how the hell I'm supposed to know.
I'm trying to go home.
I didn't know nothing about this guy. I didn't know who he was or what he done or and it's what it was. I'm not, I don't know, man. Denise says that she tells me all the time that it's not ego. It's God, what she calls it? Shit, I can't think of what she calls it. But it's it's like she says sometimes I'm standoffish. I don't see that.
I don't see you.
I've never seen that.
No, I feel like you really super warm. Actually,
I've never seen.
Maybe to a fault, like he said. Like I think you like too many people around you, man. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe I'm just that. Maybe I'm cautious to some degree. Because sometimes, man, fans can hurt you.
Yeah.
So so I'm very
especially after what you've been through in the past.
Yeah. So I don't push people away, and I don't charge for autographs, if you want to ask me for an autograph, I'm gonna give it to you, In fact, I'll hunt you a pen, instead of send you off to get a pen and run away.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's how I see you as very open and warm. I don't see you as
I don't think. I believe Earl King, man. Earl King and BB King and those guys, man. Bro. BB King played on my stage at Jazz Fest. I think it was the year before the last year that I stayed out there, that I was on a fair site. I was a stage manager for 20 some odd years out there. And we had packed all our gear up and everything, and stuff. BB was still in the back signing autographs. There was still 40 or 50 people out there. The whole site is black. The police came, because they needed those people off the site, but BB was still, and we wasn't, we can't, we can't just go, it's just, I guess we could, we didn't. We just allowed him to, to greet the people that, that he was greeting and signed all the autographs he wanted to sign. And our radio was blowing up, and saying, man, y'all got to get these people out of here, Say, well, y'all send somebody back here with authority bigger than ours to tell BB King that he can't sign no more autographs, So then the police showed up.
He was like, okay. Duly noted.
At that point, we said, okay, it's time to go. But no, I'm that person, man. I'm not gonna push you away. Not unless you come there with a stamp on your head say pedophile.
That's crazy.
So retirement, it's not part of your makeup.
No.
I wake up every morning thinking that it should be my last day.
Really?
And by noon I say, maybe not.
Like you ready to play. Shit, I do too.
I really do want to take more time and spend more time in the studio in the productive part, because there's projects I want to work on that I want to do. I want to record a jazz record with John Schofield, John Modusky.
Yeah, we want you to do that too.
Hurlin Riley.
Yes.
And Bradford.
Oh my God!
Wow, that would be so killing.
Does anybody?
That would be so killing.
Y'all,
if
please
you
make that happen.
Listen, if you need somebody to shake a tambourine, call one of us.
That's one project.
Hang out.
Yeah.
Donuts.
The donuts.
You know what I'm saying? I'll bring donuts.
I'll barbecue, whatever y'all need.
The second project that's on my plate is recording a project with Steve Kimmock and John Morgan Kimmock, and I'm thinking that band. I'm thinking two different keyboard players. Jackie Green or Jeff Schmidt.
Okay.
To lean towards a funk fusion or a jazz fusion kind of thing. The thing with the two Johns is going to be, I'm thinking, more straight ahead. I want to
Bradford and Hurlin.
I want to dig deep into some jazz.
That shit would be so killing.
Please make that happen. Please make that happen.
And this year at the Threadhead party, I did a gig with 4 young ladies, Amia Borders, Susan Kelso, Kiko Kamati, and Jasmine Butler.
Wow! I love all 4 of them,
and I love all 4. Exactly.
And we half of the songs we did were original songs, and we did a couple of covers. But I want to do that old girls band. That's 3 projects that I have on the table. That's. Some of the music is there already. The jazz record, I wrote this jazz record for David Lasty, and he passed away on me. And then I say, well, let's maybe give this music to Juanita Brooks,
right?
And just have her,
And then
she passed away, Then I say, well, maybe bring Snooks in on it. And he died. So I say, maybe this fucking music should not be heard. Maybe this music
I would ask, wow, I'd like to hear that. But you know what? Never mind.
No, never mind.
I'm good. There's a reason for that.
So when I started thinking about in fact, next week I'm going up to the country, and next week I'm going to spend some time with those tracks, with the jazz tracks, and because the Kimmock stuff is all going to be, we just going to go sit down in a room, start playing and improvise for an hour, take a break, go have lunch, come back, improvise for another hour, and walk away.
Right.
Yeah. Those are the best records made that way.
Because I think that's the kind of, that's what that gig leans to. It leans to,
just letting it happen.
Yeah, just letting it happen. But also the Schofield Modusky gig could easily go that route too. In fact, my bass tech Joe Cow, he told me the other day, he said, man, because I was originally thinking about doing the tracks with me and Hurlin down here, just laying down the beds, and then get on the plane with my hard drive and go up to. And when John and John is around town, because they're close to each other.
Yeah.
We just go in one of the studios up there, and just let them overdub. Joe said, "Man, I think y'all should all be in the same room at the same time."
Yeah.
And can we be in the room too?
Can we just come hang out? I told you I'll bring donuts.
Right.
I know we all like donuts.
You
know what I'm saying?
I can't do donuts no more, bro.
I get the gluten-free donuts. You can do gluten-free,
Gluten-free donuts, right?
Okay.
That's the nastiest stuff on the planet. Do you understand that gluten is what makes shit taste good?
It's true. It's very true, dog.
Well, look, we don't want to take up too much more of your time, man. We just really appreciate you spending some time with your nephews, and you are the greatest of all time. You know that, and Absolutely. Like I said, we've been trying to get you on the show for a while, and we are so honored and privileged to have you here in our space with us. I got one last question for you. What advice would you give young people who want to get in this business and who want to play music, and not only just that, but to have the staying power the way that you did? Because you said you've been here for
60 plus, and that is a flex, you know. And I want to be making music and just be around and be relevant for at least half that, you know. But basically, what advice would you give the younger generation coming up to carry
I
this
get
torch,
that question a
you know?
lot, and then sometimes I think about it harder than I usually think about it. But I believe that, man, longevity comes from not only reinventing, you know, but continuing to be open to things coming to you, to people you play with, you know. But there's two things that I would think that I wish I would have had this information when I was, you know, 14, 15, 16, 17 years old. You know, outside of learning your instrument, which is should be the top thing. You learn how to play.
Right.
Yeah.
And then once you learn how to play, you know, there's books out there now that can teach you what not to do.
Right.
You need to learn the business.
Right.
Because this music is indeed a business. It's not a playground, you know, and there's so many wonderful musicians that, you know, that got into the business and got screwed over so bad that their raw talent was, you know, destroyed, and they just went away, you know, or junkied out or something like that, because, you know, they thought that this business was, you know, a given, you know. I mean, if you think that it's just a quick success, just, you know, that ain't it. That ain't gonna happen, you know. And then maybe it will. But, you know, but that's you know, but they got, I guess on every given day, there's probably 100,000 musicians / artists that jumps into the industry, you know, with that in mind, is that I'm the next Beyonce, or I'm the next, you know, I don't even know all those people's names.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
But you know what I'm saying?
You know Beyonce's name.
Yeah, I know Beyonce. Yeah. Big fine girl. I know that
girl. Hey yo!
I didn't say that, Denise.
It's on tape now,
George. It's on tape now.
I'm not. I didn't. I don't look at her behind.
Tonight. Lord have mercy. Yeah, so the advice is not to look at Beyonce's behind.
Leave her behind, out of the picture. No, seriously, I think that because I think what happens, I somewhat had mentors when I was coming up. You know, Earl King, man. Earl King was like the father I had never had. 'Cause my dad would have never been, you know, because he didn't believe in what I was doing as a musician. Not until you know, I got sober. That you know, but the day I came out of treatment, the next 2 days later, he died. Yeah. You know, so we had decided, you know, in my last 2 weeks of in treatment, you know, he came visit. You know, we have every Sunday we sit down for, you know, for 2 Sundays. Yeah, it was only 6 weeks. The last 2 Sundays, he'd come out and we would make plans on doing things, because me and my father was estranged for pretty much all of my adult life. You know, because
you did drugs,
huh? Because
you were on drugs, that's why y'all were estranged.
No, because of me. You know, I just didn't like him because of the way he treated my mom. You know, I used to, you know, hey, bro, you know, you treated my mom fucked up, dude. You know,
and he didn't believe in you.
You know, I know. But as I grew older, I understood his problem. You know, his problem was you know, as a man, you know, protecting his position in the world. You know, his wife was an educated black woman who taught when she spoke over his head all the time, you know? Right. So the man just felt like, well, fuck, woman. Wow. Cool the fuck out, you know? Wow. But you know, deep. It took me years. Now, I mean, I never, you know, I never was like that. My daughter said that I was kind of ignorant when I was younger, you know, but
and she wasn't. yeah.
But no, there was lessons that was learned. You know, the lessons that I learned, you know, as a young man coming into this business was. And I learned about the business after I'd already took that $20,000 check.
You sounded that line.
You know, wrong move. Wrong move.
So you wouldn't have, in retrospect, you wouldn't have do it. You wouldn't
have done it again. Paper.
Right.
Go to a lawyer.
There you go.
You know, say I'll be back for that.
Yeah.
You know, because if you go to the lawyer, more than likely that check is going to decrease.
Oh yeah, big time.
You know. So, or go away, you know?
Right.
And that's the way the old record business, the record business today is no different from the days then.
Right.
The industry was wrote and designed, you know, to bend you over and no Vaseline.
Pause. And with that, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. George, we thank you so much for being with us today. And we just thank you for everything that you do for us individually, everybody in this room, and for the world. And, you know, we encourage you to just as long while you with us, just keep giving us inspiration because you have definitely for me for many, many years. And for, I'm sure, a lot of people who are watching. And we just appreciate you and we thank you for spending time with us, George.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
We really, really do.
That's a little to y'all.
This shit is crazy, bro.
Crazy. Mr. George Porter Jr., that's Nigel Hall. I'm Derrick Freeman.
I can say my name.
Sorry.
I'm Nigel Hall.
I'm Derrick Freeman.
And there's Danny over there.
Danny.
And the Brown Hound sounds Pound Town.
We also want to shout out to our sponsor, Lunasend. Make sure you like and subscribe. Full videos available on YouTube and Spotify, TikTok,
Amazon, Castbox, iHeartRadio,
TikTok, Shadow People Podcast,
all that, YouTube, all that shit.
YouTube,
Instagram.
Shadow People Podcast, Instagram, The Shadow People, and our email is
shadowpeoplepodcast@gmail.com. See, I remember now. See, look at God.
Keep your comments.
Yeah, keep them together. And we'll talk to y'all later. So see y'all soon. Love y'all. Thank you, George, again.
Thank you, guys. You're right.
All right, peace.
Wow. That's incredible.
George, it's all good. George, I love you, man. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.